What's up, everybody? I'm Sydney Goodman, and in today's Daily Fix, a new attachment for PS5 DualSense controllers might be coming, CDPR is under Cyberattack, and a full next-gen release of a fantastic game. Roll the thing. You ever think to yourself, man, if only my controller with great haptic feedback and adaptive triggers also had buttons on the back that I could map to things like jump, then I wouldn't ever have to move my right thumb off the joystick and would be ready for quite literally any video game scenario. Well, if that's you, I have some good news. Sony is apparently looking to develop a back button attachment for the PlayStation 5's DualSense controller according to a new patent. It's presented as a new controller add-on device with customizable presets, and the document was published on the World Intellectual Property Organization database on February 4th. This suggests Sony wants the accessory to function with the PS5's gamepad. Yippee! The images seem to show a near identical peripheral to the PS4 back button attachment released last year. We gave the attachment a 7 out of 10 and called it, quote, easy to recommend. Similar to the PS4 controller peripheral, the DualSense accessory would add buttons on the back that would be fully customizable and allow folks to map command presets based on each button press. To be completely honest, I have not used the PS4 back buttons, and I'm curious if it's more of a paddle than a button, or what exactly the feel is. So if you have used that accessory, do let me know. Chatting with a coworker, it seems that the PS4 button mapping was relatively limited and didn't have the same flexibility you would on PC or the ability to map anything to your heart's content, but don't underestimate the power of the back buttons or, in Xbox's case, paddles. I played with a SCUF controller up until the Elite controllers came out. A SCUF is more or less an Xbox Elite controller before those were a thing, and it's great. I usually map my jump and melee to the back paddle so I don't have to leave any joysticks hanging when I'm doing those things in games. So with all that said, I would be extremely excited to have that addition on my DualSense, but given that this is a patent, it's not clear if Sony is definitely going to put these babies into production. Or maybe the company is just covering themselves against third-party accessories, trying to invade their market. You know what would be cool is an Elite controller version of a DualSense. Am I the only one that wants this? Probably not. Am I asking for too much? I don't know, maybe. But you might know. So let me know in the comments. Alrighty, not to take any responsibility off of Projekt Red for the tornado of complications that came with Cyberpunk 2077 launch, but they have been having a bit of a bad time as of late. And it appears the Witcher 3 developer has now been the victim of a targeted cyber attack. The company announced the attack via Twitter, noting its, quote, internal systems have been compromised and that the hackers left a ransom note. The ransom note was released to the public and claims that the hackers have, quote, dumped full copies of the source codes for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and, quote, the unreleased version of Witcher 3, presumably the next-gen edition coming later this year. The hackers also claim to have access to all of the company's documents related to accounting, administration, legal, HR, investor relations, and more. And the ransom note ends by noting that CDPR has 48 hours to contact the hackers or, and I quote, typos and all, your source codes will be sold or leaked online and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the shitter even more and people will see how shitty your company functions. Investors will lose trust in your company and the stock will dive even lower. According to CD Projekt, devices on its network have been encrypted, but they have started restoring their IT infrastructure and data through backups. The company's Twitter statement reads, quote, we will not give in to the demands nor negotiate with the actor, being aware that this may eventually lead to the release of the compromised data. CD Projekt Red says that to the best of its knowledge, quote, the compromised systems did not contain any personal data of our players or users of our services, and that the company has contacted the relevant authorities. There's not a whole lot of full-blown next-gen console games quite yet, which is why it's especially exciting that Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, is making its way to PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, as well as Nintendo Switch and PC. You might remember that Crash 4 debuted on PS4 and Xbox One last year, and now it will see a full next-gen release, which will include faster loading times, 3D audio, and will run natively at 4K 60 frames on PS5 and Xbox Series X, while the Series S versions will run at 60 frames with upscale to 4K. And if you already own It's About Time on PS4 or Xbox One, you can upgrade to the respective next-gen version at no extra cost, except for in Japan, and transfer over save data. And if you're not on PC, you don't even have to wait that long. The PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch versions are coming March 12th with a PC release via Battle.net sometime later this year. And that's Daily Fix. I'm Sydney Goodman, and I hope your day is as awesome as you are. Now that you're all caught up in the news, check out our IGN Now on the future of Anthem. Yeah, I know, I haven't thought about that game in a while either, so check it out. Download the IGN app on all your mobile devices, subscribe to Daily Fix on Snapchat, and for all things everything else, IGN.com.